up. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Doesn't matter how many times I see the self-loading logging truck setting himself up a load of logs, I'm always impressed, especially when it gets into some of this bigger timber. Power company dropped these trees down, left them in the homeowner's driveway, and that's where we came in. We'll work this job in the mornings or evenings. I think we got about 3 or 4 loads out of here of just downed logs. We have the cable skidder on this job, and we are headed to our new job that has pretty much all the equipment, doing a little bit of laying. This job we will be removing the thick patches of timber, getting the harvestable stuff out of there, and mulching and grinding up all the underbrush in order to make fire safe. Alright, we're starting a new job today. Got the ultimate combo kit as far as the stuff that we have. 18-inch track chipper. Got the mulcher for picking up the little stuff. For dropping a bunch of these little trees, I brought the tree shear attachment to go on the front of the skid steer. And then I'll have always the 080. Looks like I need to tighten them tracks. With the rotating grapple on the front to feed the track chipper. That thing's fully remote control, so I can run it from the cab of the excavator. So I can run 2 machines at once. Okay, enough of the music stuff. Back to working here. I'm letting Dad run the excavator. Normally I run that all the time. Dad is aka V-Belt. I will hop back in the excavator and run the X and the track chipper, and Dad will come back and finish up with the TL12 mulching it. Okay, so you notice how I took the fair lead off of the winch earlier on in that clip. Took that off because it just 100% gets in the way of feeding the chipper with the grapple. It's just right there, plain view, too much in the way. Way nicer the way it is. But I'll tell you what, right now the production value with this setup right here is so much nicer. Once Dad stops walking around out there, he'll go hop in the TL12 like I was talking about, and he'll go back through and pick up all the little stuff that is just too much of a pain to pick up and throw in the chipper, plus he'll be picking up dirt and stuff like that. Throwing whole trees in like this is definitely where this chipper shines. I'm going to interrupt this video a couple more times, but I want to state some stuff before I hear about it in the comments, because why would we be chipping up a perfectly good log like that? It's a nice cedar log. Well, it's too small to really go to a legit sawmill. We do have a small portable sawmill at the house, but yeah, there's not enough timber in that. And for turning into firewood, we handle such a large volume amount of this stuff, the softwood, the cedar, pine, fir. It's easier for us to chip it, and we make more money doing it this way, and it's done with. We don't have to, there's no trucking expense or none of that. If it was oak, it'd be a different story. But I'm going to thumb through this a little bit more, grab a couple more of these tops. You will notice every once in a while, either it gets hung up because it gets sideways and a branch grabs it. The feed wheels on this chipper are spring. There's always a mean spring pulling down on the upper feed wheel, squishing down on it. Creating traction. But every once in a while, if it's too bushy or it gets in there just a little bit awkward, the spring isn't enough. But I have the remote control in the excavator with me. I can hit a button to either raise that feed wheel, or I can squish down on it and get a real mean bite. So you can see here I'm kind of pushing on it, trying to get it to work, and you watch the feed wheel right there in front of the V-belt sticker. I'll push it up, down, try to get it to do a little something, trying to get it to push this volume in there. You know, in a perfect world, you could just be throwing lodgepole pines or whatever in this thing all day long, and it'd just keep eating them. But in reality, we need to feed some brush in here, and it's got plenty of bite. It's got plenty of downforce. It's just 18-inch chipper with a lot of brush. It's a lot of just bushy stuff in there that I can't quite get a good bite on. This log here, I thought I was kind of showing off by chipping it up while I was filming, but you see how it's got a little crook right there in it? There's not enough straight log in that to be worth sending it to the mill, so what I'm going to do is take as much down as I can on both sides. I'm going to flip her over, stick her back in there, and if it can't fit through the machine, through the chipper, I will set it out so Dad can grind it with the 12. He's out and about, I think, cleaning up a little bit. I think he's got it rolling behind me. Almost sucked the grapple right there. That was a little sketchy. But let's see how much it's going to pull through. This one, it might have actually pulled it through. I'm kind of curious to see. I'm just going to keep my rambling. It does have auto feed. If it starts bogging it down too much, the chipper will stop the feed wheels on its own and let it rev back up. But if it's too big-ish, I kind of like to do it manually so that I know that it's going to stop ahead of time, because I did stall it out once and that kind of sucked. I'll have to get out and cut these things. Alright, take two. Let's see if she handles her. Honestly, 18-inch track chipper, 18-inch chipper in general, she can handle a big piece of wood. That's so nice that it can do that. It would take a mulcher, even like the Prime Tech with knives, it could not compete with how fast this thing does it. Oh, I think Dad was coming up right then. I kind of remember that. I almost shot him in the windshield with the chips. I'll show you guys one that I help him grind up with the mulcher. If you guys don't think this little track chipper is getting stuff done, come out to one of these jobs. Each one of these grapple fulls is enough to fill up the back of your Ford Ranger with brush. Alright? She's doing some damage. I'm just so thrilled to see how my dad and I's setup is doing. It is something else. The whole V-Belt and Son title. I laugh at it every time I see it, but I think it's awesome. But I think we got one more thing to show you here, and we'll be about wrapped up for the day. This, I think, was the 23rd of December, so I took off Christmas Eve, but we got one more piece to through here in a second. This was opening day of this job. We had a couple oddball chunks that would not fit through the track chipper, so the TL12 is 111 horsepower skid steer. For a skid steer, it's not bad, but we do run knives in the center of it, and occasionally we do need to get a little weird with a piece so that we can knock down an ear of it, and I'll take it and I'll throw this son of a right in the chipper.
Alright, I'm gonna shut this down. I gotta move it up the hill and park it because it is Christmas Eve. But I just wanted to do a little quick walk, show you guys. It's fun having this level of production. I know it can be probably more, but it can most certainly be less productive with different machines. But 080 20K excavator, an 18-inch Bandit chipper. That thing feeding it is awesome because it can handle, I mean, if that wasn't a shippable log, that cedar there, I could chip that thing up and be done with it. But we'll send it off the mill so that we're not completely wasteful. But most jobs like this, we end up doing, it's a select cut for fire prevention. You know, we're trying to leave stuff so that this forest can grow back, but having a thick forest isn't necessarily a healthy forest. So we'll come through, you know, they mark that tree, little trees that just, they're good for nothing. Not shade, nothing. They're early on, they're at their peak. Cut them out of the way, leave a nice healthy Christmas tree right here so it can grow up and make a good tree and help with the fire prevention. So they went through, select cut, marked a bunch, and then we'll come through, take those out, and they'll, you know, decide if they want to take more or less as we progress with the job. So we just do this time material. But it's pretty sweet though. Those 3 machines, the hourly is pretty nice when you're doing it just like this. We've done bid jobs, and unless you bid it a ton, you're not having that much fun. But if you're just doing it by whatever hours you put into it, hours for the man, hours for the machine, it is nice. So when we're running those 3 machines, it's a healthy, gosh dang, right about $7. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack this up the hill so the neighbors don't see it when they're driving by, because we're gonna be out of this job for a little bit because of holidays. But yeah.
Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video. I realized the tree shear didn't get involved, but I'm sure it will. As for moving in, and it was like a quarter-mile haul to get from the last job to this job. We ran the track chipper and the we got the stump grinder on the first load, the 080, that is the killer setup, and then the skid steer, all rubber tire rigs so that we don't need to, you know, awkwardly dismount on the blacktop. I tell you boys, I am so stoked on how this setup is turned out. The ultimate setup, that is you know, for sure. As far as something you can haul with a 35 or 5500 pickup, freaking love it. Hope you guys had a great holiday. Comment below what you guys been up to. What'd you get for Christmas? Let me know. Did you guys buy yourself any new trucks or tractors? Comment it below. Hell yeah, brother. Later.